Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Connie and today's video is going to be a topic video. Like, I'm discussing about something, and before we start with the real talk here, I'm just saying that I'm working on watercolor for some of my free goodies that I gave with the pre-orders for my comic book Tainted Love. That's it. That's basically watercolor, and I think it was a colored micron in wine, and that's all pretty much. Okay, today's topic is a topic that I've heard a lot, and I thought I would just give my opinion about it. And the topic is: art teacher hates you and or anime style. I feel like, honestly, most of the time people complain about not being understood by their teacher. They're just people that can't even try and be accommodating. Art teachers are supposed to teach you like techniques and how to draw, and if they require drawings from life or a more realistic style, you must do the assignment as requested. I say that because I've personally talked and heard about people complaining about the art teacher being harsh when what they did was the opposite of what was requested. And that's honestly dumb, because you can't expect a teacher to praise you if you just do what you want to do instead of what they want you to do. Nobody is forcing you to draw realism in your free time, in your sketchbooks, or just do it for fun. But if the teacher is asking you apples, you can't give them oranges and expect them to be happy, because sure, it's a fruit, and sure, it's delicious, but it's not apples. So, bitching about how unfair it is not to be able to express yourself in your own personal style, it will not help you. Of course, I know there are cases in which the teacher actually hates you, or like treats you like shit. It happens, and teachers are people, and they can have their issues. They can be wrong, they can be stupid, or they can be sick of all the special snowflakes not doing their assignments properly. People do not realize that in high school, and in some cases even after, there are kids that are so full of themselves to the point of being really rude, and they are so so stuck with their style, and they eventually go stagnating. If one's job is to teach you proper anatomy, you can't expect that person to be pleased with you if you draw oversized heads or dish-sized eyes. You're just supposed to do as requested, that's all. If you already know how to do things, well, there is no use in having classes. And if you're really young and you think you already know everything you need to know about art, maybe you should think again and be a little more humble. If you are polite with your teacher and like do what they say, give them what they want in terms of attitude and art, and you still are targeted, then that's a real problem. Like, it's serious, and you should probably talk about it with somebody, with your parents or other teachers or the principal, because guys, even adults can be bullies, and some teachers, they do have a shitty attitude. The problem I have with people constantly turning down and attacking art teachers is that it's too generic, and it's always blaming the teacher, even if they are right. As I said before, everybody can get sick of the same anime things and of witty attitudes. You're probably not their first anime lover student, and surely you won't be their last. They can have their days, they can be done with everything, but unless they are really rude or damage you in any way, just relax and do like pretty much you're supposed to do in every other class. That's do the assignment properly as requested. I'm not an art teacher, but I have been targeted by my art teacher in high school, and it was horrible and stressful, and if you're having the same kind of treatment, I'm so sorry for you. I really am. And now I guess it's story time. So here's my experience. Story time. When I was in high school, I had to take like 3 buses for a total of 1 hour and a half to get to school. And it's like 3 buses in a big city. And most of the time I would stand between stinky people for three quarters of the ride. And after that I had to walk to school for something like 10 minutes. And this might sound like it's irrelevant, but let me continue. We had this teacher, an art teacher, who always talked about how assignments should be the cleanest thing ever. And for her, even the smallest crinkle or like rounded edge of the paper was dirt and unacceptable. And I can understand that, mind you. It's not like she made this thing up entirely. The problem was that she was taking away 5 points out of 10 for the smallest edge, and just for me. And she basically was really harsh on me only. And I always tried my best with her. I did everything she asked, and my works were, I had to say that, but my works were great. And if you follow my channel, you know I would rarely say things like that. I don't like to brag, honestly, but they were honestly good. They were so good that I found out she used them as an example for a perfect assignment with other people in other classes. But that perfect assignment was rated, if I recall right, it was 7 out of 10. And we had people in my same year that had the same assignment rated 10 out of 10, but they weren't shown around. They weren't taken as an example. And when I confronted my teacher, she first said the problem was that giving me credit for my work, like explicitly praising myself and giving me high grades, would have made me like slack off. Like I would go back and not work as hard as I used to. But if she lowered my grades, I would be motivated to do even better and amaze her. Because to her, I could do more. And I understand it was her way to push me to the next level. But I told her that I personally don't work like that. Because if I put my mind and my heart into something and it doesn't get what it deserves, I feel no motivation in doing something better, because I know it would still not be enough. Because I was already doing my best. I tried everything because I was aiming at having 10 out of 10. But to her, I could never ever have a 10 for my assignments, because she just wanted me to work. And she praised others and she gave them really high grades because they needed encouragement. But not me, of course. Then she told me that the problem was my lack of cleanliness. And my pages were pretty clean. No smudges, no messy layouts. The only thing that was ruining the sheets were the corners, because they were slightly rounded by the hours so I spent on actually, going to school. And mind you, I used everything I could. I used like a carrying case, but it was so big and it would either break or be a hell to manage through a crowd of people. And I tried plastic tubes, but then I would forget them everywhere at the bus station, or I would lose them because the straps, the one that you put on your shoulder, they were really fragile, and people on the buses, they just push you, and sometimes you realize you lost the tube when you are already home. And anyway, those kind of tubes just curled the paper somehow, and she never cared to wait for me to just flatten the paper under some books. She would just take points away. And so I asked her to just work during school time and leave the drawing pad at school so that I wouldn't have to sacrifice my grades to lower them. Because, I mean, we were supposed to work in class and just finish or touch up assignment at home. And I've always been pretty quick at drawing, like compared to the other students of my year. So I was always able to finish my assignments in time, and I basically used to bring back and forth the pad with no modifications anyway. But she refused, and she told me that she preferred to, like, for me to work at school and at home, and if I did that, she wouldn't count my rounded corners, because yes, it's understandable that the paper gets slightly damaged with tree buses. And so I went on and tried to do things her way again, and I bring back and forth my album for the last time. And then she looked at my stuff and proceeded to take 5 or 4, I can't remember, points out of 10. And yes, she said the corners were rounded. So I snapped. I was so pissed. You can't even imagine. Like, this reign of terror lasted something like 2 years, maybe 2.5. And when I snapped, I told her that I was done. I just did what was necessary to reach a minimum. I kept my stuff just at school. I stopped caring entirely about art because I did everything she requested. I've done what she wanted, how she wanted, in the time limit she wanted. And apparently I didn't deserve any human comprehension or support, because to her I was already good, and praises could have done more harm than good. But the problem wasn't that I wanted to be praised. I just wanted to be treated like everybody else in my year. So yes, teachers can make your life difficult, can be unfair, can be ale, but you must distinguish if the teacher hates you or what you do, if you are just being targeted or if you are not doing what they expect you to do. Most of the time, they don't even hate. Like, I know that girl, that woman, didn't hate me. Sometimes they're just exhausting of seeing the same things over and over again, or they are sick of the attitudes that sadly most teenagers have. Or sometimes they just feel like you have more potential, and they can be wrong in how they behave, but they're still trying to do their job. If you do everything they ask art-wise, and how they ask you to do it, and you still are treated like you're less than others, then that's not good. Talk about it. But you need to be honest with yourself first. Did you do what they requested? Let me know in the comments down below what's your experience with art teachers, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And you can even hit the small bell and get notified every time I post a new video. That would be pretty nice. And I think that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.